One second, everybody. I got to plug in my real microphone. Hold on one second. Just 1 minute. Okay, 1 second. Okay. All right. Let's get this party started. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Got some adjustments to do. Should only take a second. Audio. Check 1, 2. There we go. If you can hear me in the chat, let me know. Okay. We're going to get right into it. No music at the moment, but we're just going to let the lawyers talk for a minute. Let them tell you their side. Then we're going to go into what the evidence we have and basically react to it. Good to see you, Deontay. Good to see you. Dropping the link really super duper early. Here. Hold on 1 second. Where are we at here? That's what I'm looking for. And today we're going to be focusing a lot on Metcaf himself. A lot of things he said. A lot of things that he said perked my ears. Let's just put it that way. And a lot of things we found perked my ears as well. Let's let the lawyers do their thing. Here we go.
To Savvy Sav's podcast. I'm your host, Sabrina Salvati. My special guest today is a Harvard-trained lawyer. His name is David Otunga. We have quite a bit to discuss. David, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Well, we have quite a bit to talk about because, ever since this Karmelo Anthony verdict, a lot of people are asking questions. They're asking questions about self-defense. They're asking questions about manslaughter versus capital murder. And so I want to start with self-defense. So for those who are not aware, I've discussed this before on the show, but Karmelo Anthony was accused of capital murder, from what I understand. So in the state of Texas, they don't have first degree murder, but they have capital murder, which I think is essentially similar there. And he was found guilty, and he was sentenced to over 33 years. Karmelo Anthony said that he was defending himself. That was his statement that he gave to the police officer when he was arrested. And this involves the killing of Austin Metcaf. So these were two teenage boys that were at a track meet, and things definitely terribly went wrong. And so I want to start with the self-defense. What exactly does the law say about self-defense, especially in this type of incident?
Sure. First, I just want to make one clarification.
There we go. I don't know why my pause button don't work like it's supposed to. Let me go re-queue up David. And yeah, the law is the laws. The I don't know what it. You have to understand there are some certain states that they have the rules. I mean, you could say there's rules made overall for the whole United States that doesn't work for a certain group of people. But Texas itself, let's just put it this way: it's not one of my first places I would want to go.
Sure. First, I just want to make one clarification. I don't believe that he was charged with capital murder, because as capital murder would have required the death penalty, or well, not required, but he would have been eligible for the death penalty. It wasn't the case here, as he was 17 when this did occur, even though he was tried as an adult. But in Texas, they do murder a little bit differently. So the first degree murder doesn't require intention or planning, rather, like no premeditation. It's just that somebody intended or knowingly committed the murder or killed somebody else. So it's a bit of a unique distinction.
And to me, see, that's a little bit, I think the thing is this, when you intend to delete somebody, you're going to be sure. It's just natural human instinct that, one jab is not enough. I think the jab could be even seen as just a reaction, and he got lucky if he did jab him. There's also the option that he could have, Metcaf could have bum rushed him and jabbed himself. The kid had the knife out. He said, I heard he said, don't, test me or something like that. And basically what happened is that from that point, I guess Metcaf tested him, because think about it like this. We're looking at a guy who's 5'8". We're looking at a guy who is not nearly as big as the football players. Both Metcaf twins are in great shape. If Austin, the kids, both Metcaf kids probably are a lot, believe it or not, are probably even faster than this other young man. So the key is how was the distance? Because we're not talking about a bullet. We're talking about a little tool with a knife within it. The primary item of this tool is a multi-tool. It's for like when you go camping. It's for cutting down branches and brush and all that kind of stuff. Can it delete somebody? Absolutely. There's proof. But it's not like he had a machete. It's not like he had one of those, karate knives or anything like that. It was just a regular. If it was on a list of weapons to use against somebody, it would be like number 78 on the list, 92 on the list. It's not a number one. It's not the first thing that people would choose, if you know what I mean. So before my guests come up, I want everybody to kind of think about that right now. I'm not going to say, oh yeah, he's innocent. He's innocent. I'm just going to let the facts lay down the conclusion for you. So I'm just telling you that basically it was a $15 knife anybody can get at Walmart. It's not like it was nothing special. It wasn't a special, forces ops or special or ops knife or anything like that. But yes, obviously it did the job. So let's keep it going. David, break it down.
But for self-defense, now it comes down to the individual has to reasonably believe that their life was in danger or they're in danger of serious bodily harm, to where the only way
this I need to go over with carefully, because we are not even to the footage yet. We're not even to what the facts state. The bottom line is this: the 5'8" kid is surrounded by football players, all taller than him. It's already been established that they didn't want him there. Though there is no legal reason that he had to leave, they wanted him to leave. So remember that. Remember that. This is the question I have is like, well, if you were surrounded by 5 big dudes, let's say 2 leads and then 3 in the back, but you'll see in this, let me bring it up real quick. I'm going to show you a very fuzzy picture. It's very fuzzy. It's hard to see it out. Well, I know it's a fuzzy picture, but believe it or not, that's about like 8 dudes. And none of them are feeling Karmelo's presence, except for maybe 1 or 2 guys or some guys that don't care. Let's go back here. So let's keep that in mind. Let's keep that in mind now. He is surrounded by, he's not surrounded by the badminton team. He's not surrounded by, the bookworm team. He's surrounded by muscular men that play one of the most violent sports in the United States, that being football. Here we go.
It comes down to the individual has to reasonably believe that their life was in danger or they're in danger of serious bodily harm, to where the only way to protect themselves was to commit serious bodily harm or death on somebody else. Then it would be self-defense, but they have to reasonably believe that their life was in danger. And so that's the difference. And was that belief reasonable in this case? And there's been a lot of questions about that, in that Austin Metcaf was not armed. And so was Karmelo Anthony legally justified?
That's a little bit. A boxer is armed. A karate expert is armed. So I know it's a little bit on the gray part, but this is a football player. It's not, again, a tennis player. It's not a pool player, not even a basketball player. It's a football player. Somebody who knows how to hit. Let's keep it going.
In using deadly force when the other individual was not using deadly force.
This is why I wanted to talk to a lawyer about this, because
right there too. I've seen a lot of cases where somebody does not necessarily have a weapon. Remember the guy who choked out the guy who did the Michael Jackson dancer on the I don't know if it was a subway or a bus, but he choked him out and he got off scot-free. I forgot the name of that. Well, we'll dig it up later. But basically, that would have been my argument. That would have been that case law. Would have been what I pulled up. It's like, well, here's a guy. He didn't have a weapon. The guy, choked him out from behind because he was doing something, but he didn't get murdered. He didn't get murked.
Again, I think I saw a number of videos before the verdict happened that were on social media, and there were different statements that were made by people about what the surveillance video actually showed. Some people said the video was kind of blurry, so they couldn't see everything. Some people said, well, I could see exactly what was on the video. And one of the claims that was made was that Austin and his brother tried to jump Karmelo. And I don't know. Again, like, they haven't released that video footage. I find that to be interesting. So I haven't actually.
I find that to be very interesting as well. Let's keep it going.
Actually watched the video. If, let's say that did happen, if someone is being jumped by multiple people. In the case of self-defense, would they be allowed to use deadly force in that case?
That certainly factors in. And again, each case is different, but the fact that you have multiple people, on one side and, only one person on the other, that certainly raises the chance that there could be serious bodily harm. It makes it much more reasonable, because that's all what this turns on is, was it reasonable for him to use deadly force? And with two people, that makes it more likely, but still it's an uphill battle for the defense. I'll be honest with you, right off, like when I heard about this case and heard the facts on it. Now I'm a defense attorney. The facts aren't necessarily in Karmelo's favor here. In fact, they're not. So this is a very uphill battle for the defense, and in particularly for proving that this was self-defense. Because again, the other two were unarmed, and really it's being reported as one-on-one. However, like you said, we know from the statements, there actually probably was more people involved, and at least the twin brother, Hunter Metcaf, was there with Austin. But yeah, that definitely factors in and can make it more reasonable. Does it make it reasonable for deadly force? That I'm not so sure of, but it definitely puts it more towards that side of the scale as opposed to it being one-on-one.
Does the self-defense have to be proportionate in that manner? Yes.
And that's the other thing too, is the force that you meet it with has to be commensurate. So proportional. So if this would be a totally different story if Austin Metcaf, the victim, if he had a weapon of some kind, then yes, this could be met with deadly force. But the other problem is there isn't even really evidence that there were any punches or violence. Now, it was reported that there was some kind of a touching. It's been reported as a shove. And some people said it was hard. Some people said it wasn't even that hard of a shove. But just a shove, I don't know if that, could reasonably put somebody in fear of their life. Definitely not to retaliate with a deadly weapon. That's where the problem lies here.
And that's the issue, in my opinion, is I do believe, I mean, you could delete somebody with a pencil if you know how to not, you could do that. So it really, to me, it comes down to the separation between the weaponry. I mean, let's face it, the Metcalf boys weren't exactly lambs. These were not weak young men. So that's something to think about. Welcome to the stage. I said what I said. It's good seeing you here. Shout out to the people in the chat. We have Henry Mars, Deontay, and everybody up in the clouds. How's everything going tonight for you? I said what I said.
Oh, everything's going great, DJ. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Just kind of kicking back. I thought I'm glad you're here. You pulled up some great footage. You pulled up some great footage, and I definitely want to get your your input on it.
Okay.
So it's interesting to me that David Otunga, he's the lawyer here, is saying that the football players they didn't have a tool or a weapon for deadly force. But I would think, it's like, for me, if a boxer comes up to me, right? Let's say, let's say a boxer comes up to me, right?
Mhm.
He has the capability of pummeling me to the upper room. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm not saying it's kind of like gray in the gray, because of course these guys are not trained to box or fight. They are trained to tackle and hit and play football. But I just recall hearing a lot of people getting off of murder because the guy either swung at him or pushed him or whatever, and the guy was able to take out even a gun and blast away and get away with it. So it's hard for me. I guess hey, it's Texas law. That's all I can say.
Well, keep in mind, it's a two-tiered Texas law system going on with the justice system. Okay, so Texas is in the South, and you're absolutely right. There are people, if you supposedly in Texas with the law, if you initiate contact with someone, even if you just spit on them, that's considered an assault.
Right.
If you put your hands on someone, it's considered an assault in Texas. Keep in mind, when they charge, when they charge people, they make sure they word it very carefully, and they make sure they use the laws and the statutes of what they're gonna, be arresting you on. So, so you definitely have to keep that in mind. and those are the laws that they're going to go after you of. So, in so many words, nothing else really matters. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. So, in other words, it doesn't matter if they were overpowering him. It doesn't matter if they jumped him, because that's the way that the law is written in Texas. They'll find a law to um, go along with whatever it is they're charging them with.
Right.
They'll make sure that everything match up. In other words. So, um, if it would have been the opposite color, then that logic would apply, because what do the opposite always say? I fear for my life. And technically, your body parts can be considered as a deadly weapon.
You brought up a great point, because a lot of police officers, fully armed to the gill with a vest, have shot unarmed people of all different races and said they feared for my life. They're that dum-de-dum. They're done. They're walking free.
And that's part of what self-defense definition is also. That's part of being able to use self-defense, and that's probably why his lawyer went that route, because he said he feared for his life. But he just didn't, in my opinion, I'm not a lawyer, so it's just my opinion. He didn't, he didn't do a good job as far as being this lawyer. So
Yeah.
but that's definitely the statute that they used, though, and the reason why they did self-defense, because it do fit the definition in so many words.
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing, is that's another good point. It's like, look, did Karmelo just have trash lawyers? What happened? Because he was definitely outnumbered, and he was definitely outgunned. He might have had a knife, but not like that. I mean, we'll see. I mean, to me, it's like this. The question I have is, like, if these guys were not attacking him, how did he get close to these full-fledged athletes enough to jab them in the chest?
Exactly. And how can he be the aggressor when he's sitting down and they're standing up over him?
Right. So many questions.
Right.
Many questions.
That alone is and it's not even just saying I fear for my life just to use it as a statement or just to use it as a defense. He actually really feared for his life, in my opinion. Because remember, those guys weigh what, 220, they said?
Yep.
So that's what, 440? hovering around you for 140 pounds.
Yeah.
So there ain't no lawyer or nothing, but I'm just saying, that point could have been brought out.
Henry, we put the comment back in here. I don't know. I didn't delete it. Henry Mars is one of our most. He's a day one. He knows everything. He's very intelligent. But yeah, I didn't do it. But anyway, let me play a little bit more of what David has to say. Maybe he'll open our eyes and ears a little bit. Well, I'd like to also welcome to the stage Deontay. Deontay is in the house and on the stage. Here we go.
Hey, Deontay.
Yeah, see, I think it's important for people to know what the law says. And we've heard I've heard a lot of different stories about what happened that day. And the fact that they did not release the surveillance footage, I can't say this is what I saw, so this is what I know. Like we can't see the video footage. Now, I want to go back to this part about proportionate.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Wisdom Ain't Cheap in the house. Good seeing you.
So to make a comparison, let's go back to Daniel Penny and Jordan Neely. This was the incident that took place on New York City subway. Jordan Neely got onto the subway and apparently was making death threats. Apparently, he was talking to himself. And Jordan Neely has a history of mental illness, right? Now, the people on the train don't know that. But I've seen this happen. Like if you've taken New York City subway, we've seen some things. So I've seen this happen before. And Daniel Penny's defense was he felt he had to get up and stop Jordan Neely from doing what he said he wanted to do, to, I guess, kill everybody on that train. Jordan Neely didn't touch anyone. So in that case, how is it that Daniel Penny was found not guilty for killing Jordan Neely? For those who don't know, he basically put him like in a chokehold for killing Jordan Neely when Jordan Neely did not touch anyone. How?
That's the case I was talking about, was when the guy put him in a chokehold and deleted, the guy and they got off because he says, I feared for my life, and so did some other people. And that's how that went. Black and Proud says, Black Pride 00 says, DJ, I don't understand why these Black people on YouTube continue to allow cosplaying Black man named Man Wan, aka Angry Man, to denigrate and disrespect Black people. He's saying Juneteenth is ghetto. Yeah, Angry Man is a POS, and I'm definitely going to address him in a couple days. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. But we're gonna get right back into the situation with the Metcalfs and Karmelo. Here we go.
How was that scene proportionate?
Yeah, and that was a tough case too. I've got my opinions on that as well. In that case, you're exactly right. Is Jordan Neely hadn't touched anybody. However, the witnesses on the subway, they did say that they felt they were in fear. They didn't know what was going to happen. Daniel Penny, I guess, felt the same way. He did not use a weapon, so it was more hand-to-hand combat. However, he did use a chokehold maneuver that ended up being lethal. To me, that seems like it fits more clearly into manslaughter, where he may not have intended to kill Jordan Neely. However, his conduct was reckless because he should have known and was trained enough to do the maneuver. And me being a professional wrestler, I have unique experience with this, that I know those particular chokeholds can be very lethal, and if applied too long. But it seemed like it fit more clearly into manslaughter, which if I'm being honest with you, I kind of feel like that more fit this scenario with Karmelo Anthony. Is his conduct seemed like it was more reckless than intentionally trying to kill Austin Metcalf. And even by his statements after that, like asking if Austin was going to be okay. Just me hearing the facts, it seemed like it fit more neatly into manslaughter. And again, this knife, it was a lethal weapon, but we were just hearing how it was described as it was a knife. You initially think it's like a kitchen knife or a hunting knife. It was a pocket knife that could be concealed in his hand. So it wasn't a giant knife. So it's conceivable that Karmelo Anthony, maybe did not know that this was going to cause death. He might have thought this might have just incapacitated him or enough for him to run away, because that's what the witnesses said also is, once he reached out and defended himself with the knife, he threw it and ran. And I think that's another part here too, is that he didn't stab him more than once. It seemed this is the part that kind of fit with, maybe self-defense, is that he just reached out one time and struck and then ran away. However, it was with lethal force. So again, this is why I kind of feel like it could be termed as reckless, or you should have known better, but more manslaughter than actual murder.
So why do you feel he was charged with murder and not manslaughter?
Let me bring up why I think it is. Everybody knew everybody. Everybody knew everybody. I said, can you kind of break down this photo here with this photo op? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the judge, Metcaf, the DA, and I don't know who the lady is on the photo, but that's them taking a picture together.
Yeah.
When did they take that? Was
really
that
happy.
was that after all of this had happened, or before? This was before, right?
I that's the thing I don't know, Deontay. I don't know the date of it.
Well, I hope it was before, because this looks really weird. This happened after the trial, or even after the incident happened. But yeah, I didn't. So, oh yeah, he definitely should have. Recused himself. Never have happened.
But
Shout out to Mr. DJ Music in the house. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I know I got my grandbaby here, so I'm kind of going in and out. I hope I was on mute when I was speaking with her.
No, you're good. You're good. Go ahead and interject.
Well, I was just gonna say, that's what the people were trying to figure out if this was before or after. So really a lot of this information is just kind of new. But the
Henry
picture
says that it was before. That's before.
That's before. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a difference if it's before or after, in my opinion, because it's still a conflict of interest. And I know they all work together, and I don't know. It just it just don't look right with the dad being on there with with all of them.
As soon as he knew the Metcalfs, he should have recused. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, they should. He should have recused himself. Is what he should have did. But it's the good old boy system.
Straight up.
And now he's retired. The judge is retired. So
yeah. So he doesn't care.
No.
I want to get two lawyers' point of view. So let me bring in the second lawyer. Okay. So let me bring in this lawyer right here. Hold on one second. He's very popular. Let me get past the commercial.
Yeah.
This is Bruce Rivers, the
accolades. Okay. So Karmelo Anthony had his trial last week and he was found guilty. I'm not really surprised. In my last video, Well, first of all, I mispronounced the name. Okay. You people who so aptly roasted me and say, oh, you dumb shit. Well, you know what? I was reading off a news article and it misspelled his name. So, and I said, are you sure that's his name? And, are you sure that? Because I assumed that whoever wrote the fucking article knew what the hell they were doing, but apparently they didn't. And then they made me look like I didn't know what I was talking about. Austin Metcaf. How you like that one? So we're going to read some news clippings and kind of go, we're going to have a discussion, or actually I'll discuss. You soak it in and start thinking like Bruce. Okay. Karmelo Anthony trial continued Saturday for almost 9 hours with about a dozen witnesses at the Collin County Courthouse. Many of them broke down in tears while testifying. Anthony is charged with the stabbing death of 17-year-old Austin Metcaf. Remember this is at Frisco, Texas high school. My understanding is that the knife he had was a pocket knife, and he was a 3.7 GPA student. Why does that matter? Well, it does kind of matter because context and everything matters. So let's see. The prosecution rested after calling 21 witnesses. The defense began presenting their case. Some of the most gripping testimony came from the medical examiner. The judge warned the courtroom that the information would be graphic, prompting Metcalf's family to leave the room. So when you see these autopsies, first of all, if it was just a stab wound, it was a tiny little knife, and there really wouldn't be much. But what do you see when you see autopsy photos? You see the chest cavity opened up. You see the brain, the skull should peel back. They saw through everything and they sift through everything. They sift through the heart. They figure out where the thing went, the knife went through. They determine cause of death that way, right? And so you'll see a picture of the heart or the lungs or the liver, wherever the bleeding occurred. They're not pretty photos. Oh, and by the way, if you're interested in learning more about medical examiners, go to our interview with Judge Lindsay Thomas, or not Judge, Dr. Lindsay Thomas. I gave her a promotion as a judge. Dr. Lindsay Thomas, she was one of the medical examiners on the George Floyd trial, and I've used her in private practice quite often. It's a fantastic lady, and she gives you kind of an idea what it's like to be a medical examiner. So the Collin County Chief Medical Examiner, Dr. Elizabeth Ventura, testified that Metcaf was stabbed through the heart. She described the wound as gaping 2.5 inches in length and not survivable. Prosecutor Bill Werski showed 4 autopsy photos to the jury. Several jurors appeared.
Yeah, everybody, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps out, and it doesn't cost anything. Hit the like. Thank you. Thanks, Wisdom, for reminding me.
Emotional, covering their mouths. Oh my! A stab wound like this isn't that big a deal. I take that back. It's fatal, so it's a big deal. But visually, it's not. It's showing where it went, and opening the chest. And if you're not used to that stuff, it is. We see it all every day. So, but it is something. Witnesses recounted the stabbing scene. 18-year-old Eddie Pera. See, one of the reasons we're doing this is because we don't have live testimony to sift through. Okay. 18-year-old Eddie Pera, a teammate of Metcaf at Memorial High School, bias, also took the stand. Prosecutors asked Pera who he noticed in the tent. Karmelo was there. I dabbed him up. What does that mean? I dabbed him up.
The dab.
Werski asked if Pera thought it was weird that Anthony was in the tent. Yes, because teams are supposed to be at their own tent, Pera said. Pera broke down on the stand when describing the stabbing, saying he noticed blood and a hole in Metcalf's chest. Now, my understanding, and I don't know if this is accurate or not, but if it's not accurate, you can blame Robert, that the knife went through the sternum. Now, there's different parts of the sternum. That you get the middle part. If it went right through the main part, I find that hard to believe because that is fucking hard material. If it was just to the right of it, that's right where the heart is. Or if you did the, xiphoid process, that's just on below. So, yes, because teams are supposed to be at their own tents. Who gives a shit? Doesn't mean that somebody needs to die or you need to beat somebody's ass because they're sitting under your tent. Why not just bring them in?
Bars. Why not just be hospitable?
Why not? Why not bring him in? Para broke down on the stand when describing the stabbing, saying he noticed blood in the hole in Metcalf's chest and that Metcalf started to scream for help. Of course you would. The prosecutor asked Para if the case was about race or self-defense, and Para said no. Worski then asked who was wrong that day. Para replied, Karmelo. How the fuck could you ask somebody who was wrong? That should have been objected to by the defense. And I'm not sure if they may have objected to it, but you can't do that. You can't use that witness to testify about the ultimate fact in the case.
So that's kind of like what he's saying, what the lawyer is saying is that in lawyer world, that's bad faith. In other words, it's like when somebody leads a leading question or something like that. You can ask it, but it's not nice. It's not in the decorum of the legal world to make a conclusionary statement or a question. What do y'all think about that?
Oh, sorry. I think that how would the boy know who was wrong or right? You can't ask him that because this is the case where Karmelo they had to prove intent, and they couldn't do that because he did not intend to kill this person. He came up under the rain to get out the rain. Someone who he knew was there and dapped him up and greeted him, and then these guys, the brothers, came and tried to get him to lead the tent by force. So for you just to say Karmelo was wrong because he tried to defend himself while he was sitting the whole time, but even without that, like Bruce right there, what he just said about the lawyer not objecting to that. As you can see what's been going on, everybody's been tearing this guy up. Even the Carmelo's parents came out and said they felt like it was a mistake that they hired this guy and that they were just giving
Wow.
They said they were giving advice to hire him. But it's like, man, they have so many different ways that they're going to get an appeal from this. And they really, if the lawyer was even serious, they could have even had a mistrial during the case. During the court case. But obviously, like I said, what I was saying earlier, this was one of those good old boy situations. They were all, this was a railroading of Karmelo. They knew what they were doing. And they just played it that way. And it's just a terrible situation.
Well, I'll agree with what Deontay said. And to add on to that, how are you going to ask a witness what someone is thinking, like Deontay said? And it also would be hearsay. I mean, was he right there right there when they were fighting or what have you? Because I just got back on, so I didn't hear that part. If whoever he's questioning, I don't know who the witness is that he's questioning.
Para is I think Para was supposed to be, I guess, Carmelo's friend.
Okay, the friend that Karmelo was talking to.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Well, it wouldn't be hearsay. Well, it wouldn't be hearsay because he was there, but you can't insinuate what he was thinking, like
right.
Deontay said. You can't lead the witness to an answer, also.
Exactly.
And so I'll agree with. I'll agree with that point.
It's tantamount to him saying, is Karmelo guilty? You can't do that. And similarly, you can't ask him, what's his case about race or self-defense? Who gives a fuck what this guy's opinion about race or self-defense is? That's amazing, actually. So the defense called Centennial High School track coach, Adam Linwood, to the stand. He said Anthony's teammates nominated him for captaincy as captain of their team, and athletes often go into other teams' tents to mingle. The prosecutor asked, is there any reason an athlete should have a knife at a track meet? And Linwood said, No. Well, you got that going on. I've heard people say that before. Like, okay, what are you doing with a knife at a track meet? But you know what? Some people just carry a knife all the time.
Didn't you say that a couple days ago? I said what I said.
Yeah, this Texas. I'm telling you, everybody have one that's over probably 12 or 13.
Yeah, knives and guns. It's country. I mean, you go fishing, you carry a fishing knife with you. Might need to
Right.
clean some fish. Who knows?
But it's Texas. You might be just walking along the road and see a raccoon or whatever. And you might have to toss your knife at, you know. But it's common. It's a common thing. So they're acting like just because he was in school, and I guarantee you, he probably wasn't the only kid that carried a knife in school.
Right.
If they don't have a metal detector, you know, who knows how many kids have knives? Kids are kids. You know, they sneaky.
Right. Now it ain't good. I mean, it doesn't look good, but
Yeah.
yeah.
The way he answered
You
that
know that?
question, that's another thing to me is if the defense called the track coach up there to be a witness, then obviously that they wanted him to basically be on Carmelo's side, right? They wouldn't have called him up there. They didn't think that he would say, make statements that would hurt him in this case. The answer he gave when he said, "Is there any reason that you have a knife at the track meet?" He just said no. But he could have. First off, they should have practiced if that was going to be a question. The lawyer should have known that they were going to ask him that. And secondly, the way you answer questions matter, because that's all the
Mhm.
jury has to go off of. So in that case, I would have told the guy if they asked you about the knife, well, you just say, because remember, it's not illegal for him to have it, right? And he was in a public place, and it was under. What do you say the length was? I said whatever it was under the amount of the size of the blade that he was allowed to carry.
Oh, 3
So
to 5 inches.
yeah, okay, yeah. So he could have just said, "Well, we don't require our athletes to bring knives to the track meets, but it's not illegal for him to." He could have just answered it like that because
Exactly.
that sounds way better to a jury from a defense standpoint than just no.
Or he
Let-
could have said it's school policy that he doesn't, that that you don't bring any weapons on the school grounds.
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
that's basically the rule that he violated at school, and that was the reason why they remember when they suspended him from school and made him go to homeschool.
Yep.
They did that with Carmelo.
Yeah, because they said he broke the rule of bringing a weapon on grounds, and that's a policy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I mean, so I remember my daughter, I took her to her driver's ed and she did a night driving lesson, right? So I drop her off at this parking lot of a nightclub. This guy was a big fat old guy. And then, I waited around and she was there a couple hours. And then I pick her up and take her home. As she gets in my car, she pulls a fucking knife out of her whatever she had on, I'm like, what the hell are you doing with that? She goes, I don't know who this guy is. So, I mean, people do carry knives for self-protection. And, it's like, okay, what about concealed carry? I mean, what are you doing on the street with a concealed carry? What are you doing with that gun? Blaming him because he had a knife on him, I think, is a red herring. But the defense team argued he acted in self-defense and said that at the time of the stabbing, Frisco Independent School District had no policy barring athletes from going into other teams' tents. The defense referred to Anthony as Mello during his witness interviews. So the defense makes a closing argument, introduces sudden passion. So what that is sudden passion. In other words, heat of passion is another way of saying it. Saying that there was, it's kind of arguing for a lesser included offense. Don't think it's this murder case. Think it's more like this heat of passion, like he was just all of a sudden hopped up and couldn't control himself. We respect your verdict. We respect your role, the defense said to the jury in closing arguments. We as Americans, I love that. We as Americans, MAGA, make America safer for guns. We as Americans trust in our community, the defense said. I know it's a heavy burden, and I know it's the heavy weight you're carrying. I can only ask you consider both sides. One of the things with that is the defense has no burden, but really there are two sides, right? He said he did this and he did this. The issue of sudden passion was brought up, asking them to decide whether there was sudden passion in a split moment. If the jury unanimously believes that sudden passion, which means emotion, feeling that this is directly caused by provocation, passion rises, then decisions made in the heat of passion a moment are different, which is a lesser included. So then he wouldn't be looking at life, or what did he get, 35 years? The defense argues that if the jury believes that Anthony felt terror in that moment, didn't have time for cool reflection, then sudden passion applies and burden is on us. And the burden is much lower. Prosecutor's closing argument: you do not get to meet a shove with a stab. Proportion. That's what the prosecution argued. Remember, I told you when we did the reaction, I know it says guilty on that thumbnail, but we didn't know the verdict when we did that reaction, right? And so what did I say in that? It's all about one word: reasonable or proportion. It's, did he go overboard? So with the prosecution saying you don't get to use a knife in a fist fight, basically, especially if you provoke the shove. So they're saying that and you can't avail yourself of self-defense if you're the provocateur. And I don't think just being under the tent is enough to say that you provoked somebody. After the defense presented its closing argument, prosecutor Bill Werski began speaking to the jury and rebutting the self-defense argument. Now, here's the deal. Here's how it works. Prosecutor gets up and they give their closing argument. The defense gets up and gives their closing argument. But guess what? Whose case is it? It's the prosecutor's case. So the prosecutor gets the opportunity to get one last bite at the apple, and they do what they call rebuttal. And unless they misstate something or there's an extraordinary circumstance, the defense is done. They don't get another opportunity to speak. This, fellow jurors, is one of the rare cases where every important fact can be boiled down to one sentence. I think even one word. You do not get to meet a shove with a stab, especially if you provoke the shove. Why didn't Anthony just walk away? If it's a stand your ground state, which it is that, saying that it's tantamount to saying he had a duty to walk away, and he didn't. Werski said to the jury, you see, he had a choice to walk away and abandon the encounter, but did he? You can meet deadly force with deadly force in Texas. You can't meet force, a shove, with deadly force, a stab, he said. Size differential, it doesn't work in this case. You don't get to kill someone just because they're bigger than you. He really has to believe that he's in fear of great bodily harm or death for him to be able to use lethal force. Werski further explained why he thinks the self-defense argument does not hold up in this case. Self-defense has to be a reasonable belief. A reasonable belief means a belief that would be held by an ordinary and prudent person in the same situation as the defendant. Now, what do we have?
Let me pause it right there. Thoughts?
Man, there's so many damn dog whistles in this closing argument.
Yeah, it is.
I'm just sitting here listening to all the other dog whistles, and a lot of times, even though Karmelo's lawyer didn't really represent him the way that we feel like he should have been represented, a lot of times it's just talent, and it sounds like that this DA just kicked this. The DA just kicked this lawyer's butt. And this lawyer is charging this an exorbitant amount of money for his services, which he's not really qualified for. So he must have a famous case that he won or something. I don't know. Maybe we need to look into his background or what have you.
True.
But
Good point.
it just sounds like he just got whooped because court is kind of like a sport, and it's not a matter of whether you're guilty or not. It's a matter of how good your lawyer is.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Court, it is like a sport. It's like a freaking chess game. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times, the reason why criminal defense attorneys get paid so much is because I'm not gonna make up a statistic because I don't know, but I'm just gonna guess half the time their client is probably guilty, right? But they don't get them off because they can prove that the client didn't do it in most cases. Because if they could, they would have never even went to court, to court. It's because it's like what the Johnny Cochran and Gary Sheck and Effley Bailey did to the prosecution in the OJ case. They just destroyed the entire case, the prosecution. They destroyed how they handled the evidence, how they investigated it. They just went in on Mark Furman, who just passed away, I think 2 weeks ago, I think, and just destroyed him. So even if the evidence was there, because all the evidence say OJ did it, right? They were still able to destroy everything else and destroy their credibility. That's what good defense attorneys can do. This DA right here in his closing argument, he threw up so many, like, he like teed up for the defense to hit home runs with. He kept saying, like, oh, it doesn't mean, like, he said, you can't stab somebody uh, after they shoved you, especially after you provoked the shove. Hold on, what does that mean? What did I do to provoke somebody to physically touch me? That should let you know right there. Like it's just so many different things that the defense attorney did not do or bring up. I mean, he should have put the brother on the stand and went in on him. But he just didn't do it. I believe the reason why this DA was able to get all this stuff off so easily is because, like we said earlier, they decided that this is what was going to happen. I think that Carmelo's lawyer was in on it without having to actually sit in some private room with them and talk about it. All he had to do
Right.
was just he tried to just look at each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh,
Right.
you know, and that was it.
I agree. Let's take a look at the footage. I got it on screen right now. Let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger. See if you can see anything. Here we go.
The footage of the Karmelo Anthony stat.
I'm going to go past that guy. Okay, got to go back a little bit.
With some commentary.
I don't know if that's, did you all see anything? Let me go back.
No, take the message down. It's covering the
Oh,
the screen.
A portion of it. I'm gonna play it all the way through. Then I'm gonna come back with some commentary.
that's Carmelo right there.
You could see a bunch of them chasing him. So I guess he's trying to get to a teacher. Somebody pushed him. Somebody pushed him.
This is it right here. It's just not clear enough. Right. See, it's somewhere in here that it happens. That the whole thing goes down. And look at all these people. I see one. Okay, this is one person here, I think. 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 And I guess Karmelo was down here. So there's more than one person around him. Yeah, I agree. Wisdom ain't cheap. It ain't clear enough. It's just not clear enough. Let me go ahead and play. Here we go.
Somebody pushed him.
See, this is what I see. I see more than a shove going on.
DJ, this looks like a Rorschach, okay? Like all of us are going to see something different. Yeah, they can't get anything from me.
Good
Yeah.
point.
And I can't see nothing.
Yeah, and I got
that's
it.
how
I got
it
it
is.
full screen. I got it full screen.
Yeah.
All I can do is I can just see some blobs moving around and some fast movement, which means that, that might have been the shove. But we know one thing. This, even with just the blobs, you can tell there's a lot more than just two people around him.
But supposedly the jury got a clear vision of it. And I watched another content creator that was at the trial, and she said this is what they showed them on the big screen. So she said they had a real grainy version that they showed them, but they showed the jury and they showed the jury the real version, a clear version, but they didn't show the jury the whole video. They only showed parts of the video.
That's not fair.
Allegedly.
Somebody pushed him.
Yeah. Okay. I'm starting to see it now. I'm starting to see it, y'all, even with my eyes. Look up in this area right here. You see somebody going back, right? And then you see somebody going forward. The question is why did he shove him in the first place?
Somebody pushed him.
Was it 1, 2, 3? I think I saw it, y'all. This is what happened. This is what I see what happened. He shoved him once. Karmelo falls back, right? Then Karmelo pulls the knife out and he goes in for another shove. That's what I saw. Because I was always, because I was saying to myself, how did he get close enough if this, top class, athlete is who he is, how did the Karmelo close distance? And I think it wasn't Karmelo closing distance. I think it was the Metcaf kid.
I want to know why nobody don't have a video editor that can edit
Somebody
this
pushed
video
him.
Yeah.
to make it
They're
clear.
going back and forth. Yeah. I
Yeah,
got
I was going to say that too. Because they have programs where you can run these grainy videos through, and they'll go in there and they'll like basically straighten up the pixels at like the smallest forms and then build it back up to where they can get it as clear as possible. So it really just depends on whatever this camera was. I don't know. This looked like it's like 242 something P. Like this ain't even 360 P.
Yeah.
Like, this ain't even 480. So I don't know, but they got AI software, but I don't. But they probably wouldn't be able to use that in court. Kind of like how they can't use like a lie detector. It's just not definitive enough.
Yeah, you know something though? I think I might have a little something to clear this up with. I'll run it through. I'll run it through tonight, and if so, we'll have another live stream. But if somebody doesn't submit, a clear picture, but I can see the movement. One, two,
Somebody pushed him.
3, 4. See, I see it. I see it, y'all. Even with my bad eyesight. Okay, let me clear this down. Let me pull this down. Let me well no, let me play the full sequence. Let me keep it
And
going.
he came out running.
I don't think he knew quite honestly, I don't think he knew he lethally damaged the Metcalf kid at that time.
No, he didn't know. They just released the body cam footage of when the police came, and Austin was asking the cops if the boy was okay. So he didn't know that he killed him. He knew that he stabbed him though, because obviously he ran, he threw the knife and bounced.
Right.
But he didn't know that he killed him, or it probably was a shock to him. I mean, I'm sure. I don't know. He knew he stabbed him. But he probably figured I just did it one time. It was on me. I got out of there. Yeah.
Fuck the prosecution spotlight this video like that. That's multiple people right there. This is multiple people on Karmelo Anthony. Let me go back. The ancestor know exactly.
So he's just doing commentary here.
Yeah, see, that's the thing you can't really rely on, where he said it's multiple people, because they already know that I mean, even the defense admitted it was a multiple people in the tent. And you know how it is when people fight, especially when kids are fighting, everybody's standing up and surrounding. It doesn't mean that they're actually
Right.
involved in the fight. So you can't really say that part, like, unless they have more definitive evidence, But they're not getting it from this video.
Well, the cops have it though, and they know. So you can't tell me that you're gonna prosecute somebody on this grainy video without you running it through a video, editing system. And I heard you say that they could take it somewhere. They could do it online. They could pay like maybe $10 or whatever and get one of those video editors, and just run the video through there.
In the legal world, it's a lot more than $10, but I see your point.
Well, I'm just saying, sign up with one of the services. It's plenty, things online that you can, even Canva have that where you can run your video through there and clear it up.
But that might have been what
So
happened.
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well,
Mhm.
yeah. When earlier when you were saying that somebody was saying that the jury had seen a more clear video, that may have been
Mhm.
it. The court
Yeah.
or the prosecution, they may have had it enhanced
Redacted.
some. Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's
this look like a redacted copy, don't it?
yeah. But now I get it appears that they're zooming in on that. See, like that's the wide shot when you can see the whole stands in the tent. But when it's zoomed in inside the tent, when you zoom in on something, especially a video or a picture, it's going to get more blurry the more you zoom in on it.
Mhm.
But it does
Gotta
look
get I
like they
gotta
got blurry.
That was it right there. Right there. That was it. And let's go to the body cam footage now. Hold on one second. Here's the body cam footage right here. Now this is clear.
Hold on. If somebody is treating the victim, they need to be over there. Don't reach for anything, all right, man? Stop right there for me. Dispatch 443. I got the suspects, and they're currently treating the victim. Again, he's on the north end of the stadium. All right. Any weapons on you like that? Oh, look here. How long? I know I'm not. 4-4, copy. I'll be in route. Help me, y'all back up a little bit. Come over here for me. Come over here. I'm gonna put your handcuffs for now, okay, bud? Dispatch 443. Everybody can slow down. I got the alleged suspect in handcuffs right now, detained.
Everyone else can slow down. Suspects detained in handcuffs.
Hold on. You can open up the channel, and medics are clear to come in. Have them come to the northeast entrance. That's gonna be a gate that's wide open there, and then you come to the victim from there. This is the alleged suspect. All right. Okay. We'll figure that out. So nothing on your person at all? No, nothing? No, sir. Mind? Are reaching your pocket and all that? Nothing but stamina? No, sir. Not bad.
I mean, this is not.
A little personal there, okay? Just to make sure.
This cop was actually pretty like, I've seen a lot of body cam videos thanks to them releasing these things on YouTube and stuff now. And for him to have just, assaulted somebody and ultimately killed them, and this is a white cop, right? I was actually kind of like surprised at how respectful he was treating them,
Yeah.
because I've seen people get pulled over by white cops and all they did was just, run a stop sign, and the dude was treating them like they was a serial murderer. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's funny when somebody who actually did something like that, when he was, I mean, you see, he even told him I got the alleged suspect. He didn't, the way he was talking.
Mhm.
This is hard to watch for me though, just because I understand what happened. I mean, I don't know what happened. I'm just saying they were kids. He was protecting himself. The boys was being bullies on him. It was a moment of passion issue. That's the
Mhm.
one thing the district attorney got right that he pushed, but he knew that he knew that they was going to railroad that. He didn't even try to fight for it. He just said it to say that he tried to put it in there. But that's what it was. It was in the heat of the moment when he got threatened like that. He just made that decision.
Exactly.
That manslaughter, and like I said the other day, at worst for Karmelo, he should have got manslaughter. It should have never been beyond that.
And he still would have got 20 years because that's I think it's 5 to 20 years for manslaughter. So I'm sure he would have got the whole 20 years. They would have gave him the maximum of whatever they could give him. But I don't feel like this cop is being that easy with Karmelo. Yeah, he may be making a video and giving us all of the footage and making sure we see him head to toe and all of that, getting great angles or what have you. But in my opinion, Karmelo is not he's being very cooperative. So there's no reason to do all the jerking that he's doing. So in my opinion, and this is a kid, this is, you said he's not treating him worse. He can't treat him worse because this is on school grounds. And if
Yeah,
the kid is not fighting, he know he's not the only one recording this.
yeah. Unfortunately, I've seen a lot of different video, body cam footage of police officers dealing with people who were being polite, respectful, and it really just depends on the person, right? On who's the person that's in the uniform that day, whenever it happens. But I'm just saying, for the gravity of the type of situation that it was, for I mean, here you got a black kid who just stabbed a white guy, and he's, he died. Um, they be acting crazy. You know what I'm saying? These police,
Yeah,
they be throwing dudes down.
but probably at that time though, you know what? At the time of the arrest, he may not already been gone because they didn't pronounce him gone until he went to the hospital.
Yeah, well, even the fact that he said, "Look, I'm not trying to defend it. I just made a comment. I'm not trying to defend the police or nothing like that. I'm just saying that compared to things that were way less worse, you know,
Hey, okay,
people
I'll bring my Black Panther meter down.
no, that's why I even said it though. Like because when I saw it, I was expecting them to be grabbing him, throwing him like damn near breaking the teeth out of his mouth, throwing him on the pavement. Like that man.
Now,
They be
they
doing
had too many
usually do
lawsuits.
that.
They
They
had too
usually
many
do that to
lawsuits for
people
that, baby.
who like run, who like try to get away.
Yeah,
listen.
he was very cooperative, and they'd have had too many lawsuits about that. So no, they're gonna be on the school grounds like that. Yeah, they're gonna dot those I's and cross those T's.
Okay, let's
Yeah,
check out
well,
some awesome Metcalf footage here. Here we go. Let's see how this we're gonna go through some fathers, and then I'm gonna pull out I said what I said surprises for you after we play some of his Smith talking videos.
So I'm sure Jeff Metcalf has had about enough from the Anthony family and their supporters, which leads me to SOT 22. Back to Jeff.
So you can live with your lie if you want to, but my truth is forever. Just like the fact your son is a convict and a killer.
Let that sink in, y'all. Let that sink in. I got a little something for you. Here we go.
Forever. Forever's a long time. What's your master plan, Mr. Anthony? To use your son as income and soak up as much money playing victim to line your pockets and then abandon him when he's at sentencing or victim impact? You just left him up there by himself?
Oh, he talking some heavy shit. Let's keep it going.
Amazing. Amazing.
This poor man.
Look at Megyn Kelly being nice to him. But I tell you one thing though, Megyn Kelly, I got a little something to show you about him in a little bit. Here we go. Let's see some more smack.
Drew Anthony, Kayla, you're cowards. You wouldn't even show up for your son's sentencing or victim statement impact. You abandoned your kid. You left him there. I guess he's no more use to you because you can't get any more GoFundMe money or GoSendGo money. You are
He talking some heavy smack. He talking some heavy smack.
Yeah, he talking cash shit.
Yeah.
He's showing us who he really is, though. And he been all this been bottled up inside of him.
Mhm.
And to me, this not grief. This is anger.
Right.
And I got one question. We ain't trying to make it political tonight, I promise. But I don't understand why MAGA be so unhappy. They get everything that they want. And I do understand his son,
Right.
Is gone. So, and I don't wish that on anybody, right? But Karmelo is going to jail, and you have to come online and spew stuff like this. You got what you wanted.
Yeah. But that's the whole irony. I'm glad you brought that up. I said what I said, because all the black MAGAs, this is what they wanted, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're upset with the result. They're upset. The Black MAGA, all the angry men and all the mother dudes who talk about, being conservative and supporting Trump. Trump put these people in. Trump put this whole thing in motion. He got all these people doing all this stuff to this black kid. So do you think they, some of them did, some of them backed up Metcaf, but a lot of them are upset. It's like, oh wow, you're holding the black man down. What that you guys voted? You didn't want any any women or any Democrats to be in office. So you got what you wanted, bro. And now they're getting their FAFO moment. Let's play some more of this dude.
Are grifters. You should be ashamed of yourself. You raised that child. And I swear to God, CPS to come check on those other 3 that you still have.
But no, he's still going.
He's still going.
What are you doing?
Nice.
Admitted or took accountability. You tried to play victim.
Bingo.
The real victim is the one who died.
Yeah.
Great point, wisdom. Gracists are never satisfied. That's actually true.
Not the one who shoved a knife in his chest. I come to pray with you and show the world we can close the gap of this unbelievable racial divide. And what you
Keep listening, y'all.
do, you widen the gap even further. You hire a convicted baby-shaking felon who's only in it for the money, who gives you bad advice, kicks me out of a press conference. Oh, funny, I was somewhere I wasn't supposed to be, but I left. When asked, I didn't stab anyone.
Yep.
One more, and then we're going to get to the fun part.
It's only because Austin Metcalf's dad is white that people have a problem with the things that he's saying.
You people hang your hat on the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Let me make one up. Y'all can let me make something racist
Notice how he's saying y'all.
up so y'all can go viral. I got a new name for Mello, okay? Because he was such this little boy y'all were trying to portray. How about watermelon felon? How's that one strike you?
Say it right off the bat. I don't like that he said it. I don't think he should have said it. I don't think it helps his cause by saying it. But right off the bat in the clip,
It doesn't help. Don't worry. I said, well, we got something for you.
I'm going to say something to get y'all riled up. And the reason why this is not as crazy and offensive as it would be in other circumstances is because the way that people are talking about his dead son is absolutely insanity. They are mocking his son, saying he was a bully and that he deserved to get stabbed in the heart and killed at a track meet. And for him to go out and say, well, I'm gonna make y'all really mad. I'm just going to say something to make you mad.
This is croon in chief right here. Listen to this guy right here.
Austin Metcalf's dad was giving an interview, and he called Karmelo Anthony a watermelon felon. And the internet is in uproar.
Remember now, old Austin was saying that, oh, we gotta close the divide. We could have prayed together and all that kind of shit. Then he calls his son a watermelon felon. That's a weird.
Well, there are a lot of people saying like, yo, like, why? We don't got to go there. Like you win. This dude killed your son. We totally get it. I understand you're mad, but you don't got to throw watermelon felon out there. I guess that's the sentiment a lot of people have, right? Why inflame the tensions? Initially, Jeff Metcalf said this wasn't about race. Now, I think it's clear to everybody it is. And I'm going to tell you, it is. I mean, it's just a fact of the reality. Karmelo Anthony, I believe, was motivated partially by race. I genuinely do believe that. I believe that Karmelo Anthony wanted to kill Austin Metcalf. I think the testimony makes this clear.
I don't think he wanted to kill him because he would have did he didn't. It's like, unless he practiced this whole thing, never mind. Let's play this right here.
Can I say something?
Let me make something racist so y'all can go.
What I want to say is, it looked like two people were fighting, and he stuck that boy and then ran as long as, it seemed like once, he could get free. Seemed like he just stuck him and left and tried to get free and really
right.
I think he did in fear. He actually really was in fear of his life, in my opinion,
I agree.
because he's so much smaller, and so no one can tell you how much fear you have, or how much strength you have as a person. And with him being much smaller, I
Mm-hmm.
guarantee you he probably was afraid.
Yep.
And he was just trying to get him off. And like you said, that's why he went in there, and I mean, that's why he asked his coach, is he going to be okay? There was empathy throughout the whole process. It wasn't like he just ran out the gate and, tried to get in his car and leave, or, just run off the scene, or none of that. So, you know, they just, they put it all together good, and they had a lot of dog whistles, and the whistles worked. That's all I got to say about it.
Mm-hmm.
Go viral. I got a new name for Mello, okay? Because he was such this little boy y'all were trying to portray. How about watermelon felon? How's that one strike you?
Mic check, mic check. Okay, so in today's video, we got to talk about this Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcaf situation.
Let's get right into Austin, though. Let's get right into Austin. I think it's time. You think it's time that, I said what's said for us to drop that out, that DJ Mick, that Austin clip.
Yeah, do the drum roll, do whatever.
Okay, first I'm gonna warm up the crowd. There they are. There's the judges and Metcaf all together and everything. And then let me go. Let's go right straight for the jugular. Let's go straight for the jugular. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to see this one. You got to see this one. Here we go.
Name for Mello, okay? Because he was such this little boy y'all were trying to portray. How about watermelon felon? How's that one strike you?
A watermelon felon. Watermelon felon? Looks like the felon here is you, Jeffrey Charles Metcaf, who in 2011 was charged with SA. Yep, that's right. I even fact checked these records. So it looks like the felon we really need to hide our kids from, hide our daughters from, hide our women from is Jeffrey here. And if you want to be able to pull receipts like this, check out my online class, Get the Receipts, where I teach you how to do background checks. So
there it is.
Okay. And she's a real lawyer. That's Simone. She's on YouTube too. So shout out to Simone for that information.
Yeah.
But, remember I said, I don't know. I've been talking about it a lot, but it's like it's opposites. It's like the good and the evil, and everything bad happened to the good side of this, and everything good happened for the bad side of it. Well, not everything, because, the boy is no longer here, but it's like Karmelo doesn't have a record. From what I understand, I haven't seen anything on social media about his parents having a record of any sort, because you can rest assured that would be up front and center if they did, in my opinion.
But
we'll be talking about that also.
We know somebody who does have a record.
Yeah, but on the flip side, your kids been named as bullies allegedly, and now you got this nice record here.
Right. And that's the funny thing. And he was talking all that smack too.
Right.
When he had straight up, the SA.
Yeah,
released from prison.
that's almost as bad as what Karmelo was charged with.
Yeah, this man didn't just go to jail. He was actually put in prison. He was put in prison.
He was still able to work after that, which is crazy. I'm sorry, I don't want to curse. He's a real estate agent. I guess he does pretty okay. But what's really crazy about this whole case, though, and I think is really not really being said enough, is that, like you were just saying, I said what I said, that his parents don't have a record. Karmelo don't have one. They don't have anything that they would have destroyed him if he'd had anything that they could put out. They didn't even have suspensions in school that they could say about him. In all ways that you could look at it, Karmelo was a good kid. who came from a good family. They was quiet. They wasn't like all out in the open. They were just doing their thing, living their lives. Carmelo, I mean, he saved the damn little white kid from drowning, all kind of stuff, right? This is a good kid, right? So, but notice how, like the one guy with the beard said, he believes that Carmelo intended to kill him because he was just racist toward the white boy, basically. So they don't care if you a thug ass nigga in the streets
But think
or
about
you
hold on,
a good
hold on,
kid
Deontay.
doing
But think about what you said. If he was so racist, why would he be over there at that tent with all of them over
no,
there?
that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that they don't care what kind of kid you are. Like if you are black, you always in that same category. You just a useless, murderous, whatever. You just ain't did it yet if you don't have a record. They don't care about that. Like you see how they painting him? They painting him like he just old Pookie from the blocks, and he's obviously not. They can't paint him like that, but they still trying to say, "Oh, he meant to do this, and he deserves to get all of this." Like, come on now, you know, this is just showing you who they really are. And that racist rant that the father went on, and it's kind of weird to say it like this, but his son dying like that in the situation he did by a black person's hand, it gives him the license that he feels like, especially with his own white people community, to be as blatantly, openly racist as he wants to be now.
Right.
Even though I believe he felt like this the whole time, way before this happened with his kid. Now he can just say it.
And he himself is a straight up criminal.
Yeah, they don't care about that either.
Yeah, projection and deflection. And you're a whole chameleon. You're projecting as if you're such a grieving father and your father of the year when you was, allegedly separated. Well, I don't want to get ahead of the show, but anyway.
Wait, why is
He
his
ain't no
arrest
angel.
date?
Let's just put it like that. Huh?
Yeah, why is his arrest date the same day of his release date?
Hmm.
Huh. I mean, it says cell in ISO C. So you know something? This is gonna be very interesting what happens next. Because you see old Simone got the T, right?
Exactly.
And this is they're gonna start asking like, wait a minute, this guy committed GRAPE, and it looks like they went easy on dude.
Well, a lot of times they be having stings. And, he could have been caught up in one of those and, look like he got friends in high places that can just, let you on back out.
Well, those friends are gonna be in a lot of trouble if they find out something's here soon. Because Simone said
Allegedly.
his records were sealed. So how did he get them sealed? Well, I mean, let's see, when did it happen? In 2011? I guess that's really not that long ago. That's just it's 25 years ago. So.
You said 2011?
Yeah. 2011, that ain't 25 years.
Yeah.
That's 15.
15. Oh, my bad. I can't count. So yeah.
Plus, he was a grown man. He knew what he was doing.
But you know what I've noticed though? Low lives, for some reason, they get this high and mighty vibe about them. They try to think that they're better than other people when they've done horrific things like this. A lot of the people in the manosphere are the same way. They've done some real dirt, like real dirt. I mean, for example, what's his name? Charleston White. But he acts like he's better than, they act like they better than women or something like that, or better than other people. But they've done nasty shit in the past. And this dude right here, Jeffrey Charles Metcaf, is the same way. He's got. I guarantee you, at the very least, he's got some explaining to do, because they're gonna say, "Wait, dude, you did great, bro."
Well, what he did was he made some people mad. And that's what you don't do. Not on the internet, you don't, because you got all kind of people on the internet. You see Simone pull this up, And
Mhm.
whatever you have buried, whatever bones you have buried, people gonna find them bones.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if it's public, like this information, criminal information, is public. Like, he didn't think nobody was gonna, but you know what? It already happened. He probably figured somebody was gonna find her and look it up, but he
No,
probably
I don't
felt.
think he did.
I
I
think,
think
look,
Deontay. I think he
Nah.
thought his sealedness was going to
Yes.
be enough.
Right.
well, I'm
And
talking about
Deontay, think about his age. Think about his age, though. He probably and think about the fact that he's grieving. He's not really thinking straight, in my opinion. He's not on top of his game because at the end of the day, if you be, and I don't even know if this guy, I hadn't checked and see if he had a Facebook page or Instagram or anything, but
he got a link thing. Yeah, but
okay.
I mean,
But
I mean that's your
but
job.
yeah, but that ain't on these other sites. And these other sites is what? Conspiracy, gossip, opinion, and sometimes facts.
Yeah, well, the reason why I still think that he knew eventually somebody was going to find this, but he didn't care because the mainstream media doesn't care. The outlets, all the outlets that have been bashing and trying to paint Carmelo as just stone cold Negro killer or whatever, they don't care what kind of record his dad got. Just like they're not talking about the sons being bullies, they don't care about none of that. So, and he knew that. He knew that this would. He don't care if every black person in America see this. I'm talking about from his standpoint. His group of people, his white people, that's behind him with this. They not gonna give a shit. All they care about is that his son got killed by a black kid, and we can't let this. We can't stand for this. That's what they say. Even if
I predict something's going to come out of this. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is what's going to happen. Number one, I think Carmelo will get an appeal. His appeal will be approved. But I think it's going to get a little bit weird for old Jeffrey because it's out. It wasn't out. I don't think he thought it was going to come out. Now, the people that he's around, his circle and the circle around, the people who made this happen, as far as his ceiling and everything, they don't care. I see where you're coming from. But there's a whole lot of other people who do care. I guarantee you, if like some channel, like TYT and some of these cats out here, they're going to get a hold of this and they're going to eat this up. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's going to change whatever happens in the appeal. That's just going to be its own thing. But this man right here, let me tell you, these folks don't like being shamed. He's about to go through a whole series. This is not over. I guess that's what I'm saying.
He said it ain't over. You're right. And that's what I'm talking about. And social media is very powerful. It hit people all around the world. And you're gonna have your trolls, don't get me wrong, but MAGA have a whole group. That one of those doctors, one of those men said that, or either you said it, DJ Torch. Trump set all of this up, and I was gonna say something, but we started playing the video a while ago. Trump has MAGA has a whole group. Remember, Elon Musk's girlfriend came out and told us how it works. It's a whole group of them that's in the chat, and they have talking points, and they have certain things that they target online. So a lot of times when you see all that back and forth and all of that, that's a whole network that MAGA have, and they go to different places and attack different people with different social issues.
Yeah, I will say this. This is going to take a lot of air out of that sale they wanted, because when this gets out that he did some, I mean, this is a hard crime he did. He didn't do a shoplift or nothing. He didn't steal a car. He actually assaulted somebody. So what's going to happen is they're going to start digging in his life and go, okay, so, does the apple fall far from the tree? Maybe the black kid was telling the truth.
Right.
Because obviously this guy doesn't have the, we now see that old Jeffrey don't have the, he's not a Jesus, believing kind of person. This guy had enough just 15 years ago, which isn't that long ago. Thank you for correcting my 25 years. Just a little while ago, he did a heinous crime. And just think about it. This is the one he was just caught in. This was the one he was caught in. Deontay, take a deep breath. I'm telling you, brother, what's going to happen is this thing's going to start to snowball. They're going to find more shit in his
and
past.
social media need a story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is going to snowball. They're going to find out more shit about this. Then they're going to start finding more shit about his kids. Some cheerleaders are going to start coming out because they see cracks in the walls. The cheerleaders don't want to continue to be harassed. Yeah, this is going to get interesting. We're just getting started.
He finna get trailed by social media.
Oh, this is going to be bad. This is going to be all bad.
And the
People are going to
internet
wonder why, how did he get out so quick?
Yes.
They're going to wonder why, then they're going to ask, so why, were you separated from your wife? And all of a sudden, all the good boys and good dad stories are going to crumble. Whether that helps Karmelo or not, I don't know, because this is going to be on its own track. But this guy's a hardened felon. He can't tell nobody nothing. He can't talk shit to black people anymore. We got your shit. We got your shit, motherfucker.
and the internet investigation is not going to be nice to him.
No.
And I don't think he understands the backlash that I just don't. I don't think he understands the Pandora box that he opened up. Is what I feel like.
I don't think he cares. And the reason why I say that, right? I'm sure there's going to be some things that's going to happen that that he didn't account for or calculate could actually happen, and he might be pissed. But at the end of the day, the only thing he cares about is that as long as white people, the majority of them, especially the ones he messing with, are gonna not care about any of that because all they care about is the situation because they holding the line for their people. That's all that matters. Like he doesn't care what anybody else thinks about him. Like it's not. He especially don't care about what black people think about him. That's why he went in on that crazy rant he went in on. He didn't.
I disagree. I think he thought he had some leverage. I think he's going. I think he does care what people think about him.
He doesn't care what black people think. If he cared what black people thought about him.
No, I didn't say nothing about black people. I'm talking about other white people.
Yeah, they're going to see that. And this is like, these people have so much crime and depravity and just weird ass shit that they into or that they've done, and they live with it and deal with it, almost like how our community deals with it with people who do that stuff, right? But when it comes to us versus them, they don't care what kind of information or history black people can bring up about this guy, even if it's the dead truth. They don't care.
Well, okay, let me break it down to you. I grew up with men like this dude right here. And let me tell you one thing they hold high in value is their status in the community. And with this out, he ain't shit. This is going to hurt him more than you think. I've seen this happen. I've seen these dudes hang themselves after being shamed like this, after something gets out. I've seen situations in white suburbs where like the CEO ends up deleting himself because they found out he cheated on his wife. this is far beyond that. This is far. I know what I feel you, Deontay, but let me tell you, this is just getting started.
Yeah, well, I just
He
with this
won't be talking shit for too long. Let me tell you, he's going to go quiet in a little while. He's going to go quiet in a little while because, see, the thing is that he lives in a very high pollutant area. It's different just being a poor white person living in a trailer park or whatever. This guy was playing like he was high quality. That whole thing is about to fall down. That's a big deal to him. That's his standing in the community. It means a lot to these kind of people. And so, yeah, it's going to hurt him a lot more than you think. Like, that's all I can say.
Yeah, no, I just ended with this. What I'm getting at, I'm not trying to defend him. I'm just trying to show the gravity situation that we dealing with people. This is why Karmelo got railroaded. They all are in lockstep. They're not going to care about this situation because remember, it's not like the CEO situation where it just happened. He has did this 15 years ago. They all knew about it. Everybody in this picture knew about it. They knew about what he did.
But see, the thing is this: everybody in that picture, they might know about it, but it's about to bite them all in the ass because all of a sudden, all the liberal white people that these guys are not, obviously, right? They're going to start asking questions, and they're going to be like, "So you let this felon out?" And I guarantee you, it was probably before he was supposed to be let out. You let his boys run rampant. There's a reason. Remember how my ears got perked when we were talking about how he was separated from his wife?
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna come out. I mean, you have to understand, Deontay. This man, these types of people. Value to them where they will pay millions for is the simple word of stature, of being seen as high value per se, but in different ways of having money, driving a Mercedes, having a great lineage, which he doesn't have that we know of, right? There's a lot that's going to happen. It's going to be very interesting how they're going to clean this up because it's out. So there's a bona fide G Ray is not racist, but it rhymes with it.
Yeah.
In the midst. What are these people going to do now?
Oh, I agree with you with that one. With these guys,
and it's only been 10. It's only been 10 or 12 years, so they can't say, "Well, he learned his lesson." Not after that rant he did.
And it might affect his job also, because if he went to prison for that, and you do something like that in prison, don't you supposed to be on some type of registry?
They know that. That's what I said. They know that he went to prison.
But the whole thing about it is, if the story become too big online, or if your story just become too nationalized or what have you, them people in that picture, like DJ was saying, all of them would dissipate. Even though they already knew, they still would, they'll distance themselves from him because they, like DJ said, they care about status, money, and power.
Mm-hmm.
This picture is, to me, this picture of them together. This is what actually matters to Karmelo. See, what happened with Metcalf's father, all that stuff. If that comes up, like if the white people get pissed about that, it'll mean something. But really, this picture is worth more than any of that because it shows that this is him, the judge, the DA. It like you said,
corruption.
Yeah,
like corruption.
It doesn't matter if this happened before or after the event, the incident. Either way, Both of them are bad. If this happened before, that means y'all railroaded him. If it happened after, that means y'all railroaded him. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't. This picture is worse than anything. When you put all of them together into this is the real thing. 'Cause it's not the fact that the father knew the DA and the judge enough where I don't care if this was a charity event and they just happened to take a picture. They must have fucking known each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's the real issue. Like, he would have never went on that racist rant if he was really worried about anybody. We talked about, I think yesterday, I was like, man, for him to go on this rant like this, he must have had somebody tell him that, okay, no matter what happens when you do this, you're going to be cool. You always going to have some kind of a job. And I don't think
quite honestly, Deontay, I don't think they thought his record would get out there. I don't think they did. I don't think they thought black people were smart enough to find that he had a record.
They don't think they might say that stuff publicly, and it's really the ignorant ones, right? They don't think black people are dumb.
Oh, like, these people aren't ignorant. Wait a minute, Deontay. You're talking about these people are ignorant. These people right here, they just got caught. I'm telling. Deontay, let's give it 2 weeks. Let's give it 2 weeks. Let's let it marinate. Let's let it marinate for a minute. But I guarantee you, they're not. I guarantee you, they're not happy about his little. They're not happy about this getting out. They're not happy about this getting out. They're not happy at all because now if they stuck their neck out to get this guy's record sealed. And Simone did some magic work, and it's out now. I'm just gonna let it marinate. Just let life work for it. I feel your frustration, but the key is this. I see that. I believe it or not, when I saw a dude rant, I said, okay, Karmelo's gonna his. Because they don't have to grant you an appeal. But when I saw the dude go into his rant that we just played, he getting an appeal. He's getting an appeal now. It's getting an appeal because basically there's enough there to say, well, maybe the other kid wasn't as nice to Karmelo. Because I guarantee they probably painted this dude's kid up as both of them as princes, right? But now they're going to say, well, we got an angry father here. Wait a minute. He doesn't live with his wife? Wait, how does that work? Okay, wait a minute. Was there some rumors about some cheerleaders getting harassed by these guys? Because one of the cheerleaders was called fat? That wasn't a big deal back then, but we got ourselves a felon right here now. We got ourselves a felon. And it's only been 10 years. That ain't no time for somebody to heal themselves. All of a sudden, don't get me wrong. I don't think he's going back to jail or nothing. No. But let me tell you, this is not good. Being around them folks for a long time, when I was growing up, this is not good. This is about as bad as it gets for people who are wealthy. For something like this to come out, this is about as bad. This is just as bad as when Shannon Sharp was found out to be down low. It's that bad to them. It's that bad, if not worse. Shannon can go, so what? Okay, Shannon can go, well, yeah, so what? I don't care. I like D too. But this man here is a straight up criminal. He cannot, you have to understand that's a luxury to them to be able to talk down to black people. He can't do that anymore. He's a felon. raisin potato salad with some H. Yeah, you don't. I understand. If you grew up around these people, you would understand how damaging this is to them. Like how I guarantee you, he is having a fit right now. Like, whoa, the N words, how the N words get my shit, how these N words out here, blah, 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 blah.
It's
And his friends,
hold on,
and
I'm
his
sorry.
friends in the picture. Let me get back to the picture. Right now, they're scheming to themselves on how are we gonna like break this to him that we can't really speak to him anymore because you know we high polluting WIVOs that we got people that are running for office and shit. We got things we got things to do here and we can't be around this felon here.
Hey,
Do you
and
think?
he barely made it in.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they all of them in law enforcement, he's not. So he can easily be disposed of.
Yep.
Very easily.
Yeah.
And
Let's.
and didn't he say didn't he say something about we was baby mamas and all of this and that and the other?
Yeah, he
also
sure
in one of his
did.
rants?
Oh, he brought all of that up.
And so it sounds like really his rant is a confession. And to resolve you and Deontay's points of views, I think both of you guys are correct. Two things could be true at once. Right
Mhm.
now, Deontay, he may not care because he's grieving. So some of this is anger and some of this is grief. So let's keep that in mind, right? And then DJ later on when he come back down to reality and when the story hit and when if it blows up, and I think it's gonna blow up, like you're saying. It's cooking right now. It's in the boiling pot and it hadn't haven't spilled over yet, but it's all you know how to when you're cooking something and it get almost to the top.
Yeah, wait, watch how. Let's see how many times he starts to get invited to.
Right.
They don't have cookouts. They go to fancy restaurants, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how he gets after they find out for grape. Oh my God! You think he's getting into that fancy restaurant?
How many more selfies he gonna get to take like this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In fact, I think I got to run this through some of my thing. Put grapist right on the top of his head here. Let it kind of like marinate. Let it marinate. It's going to take a little while because they're going to try to cover it up. Don't get me wrong. They're going to try to cover it up. But I'm sorry. We got some very intelligent brothers and sisters out there. It's too late. It's too late.
Like I said, he don't want no internet investigation because it's gonna be all garbed up in one.
See, they're not used to dealing with shame. Trust me on that. They're not used to dealing with shame. This dude did something at the maximum level of shame. What he did was unforgiving to assault somebody. He's going to get his. He's going to get his. It's not going to be status. I'm just going to see what happens. I'm going to see. I think it's going to make it to TMZ, to be honest with you. I think it's going to be on TMZ soon.
Yeah, but he'll be like, they got a person like that in the White House that they support. Mm-hmm. And keep in mind with the times that we're in right now.
Yeah.
Right is wrong and bad is good. That's kind of the kind of world we're living in right now. So, everybody might not abandon him, and he'll just, to me, in my opinion, get radicalized or cultalized or you know, it's like a bunch of unfortunately rejects that just all hang out together, and
Yeah.
they're gonna.
Other
And
than
that's
his
what
son
Deontay
passing
is saying,
away,
huh?
other than his son passing away, this is the worst thing that could happen to him.
Yeah. But
I
they gonna.
mean,
But he's still gonna have a crew that's gonna stick by him, though.
yeah, oh yeah. But see, the thing is that you have to understand these types of people, these types of narcissists, they want to be loved by everybody. They want to be respected by everybody. And that's over for him for the rest of his life.
He would not have done that racist rant if he wanted to be loved. Because it's even white people who don't agree with that rant. But I said what I said. What you said was correct, though.
But
Donald Trump is a 34-time felon. He actually had to pay money to a woman for sexual assault. You know, and the MAGA people is still millions of them. That's why this guy was emboldened to do what he did. That's all he cares about. Chud the Builder people, this dude Myron Gaines, whatever the fuck he's supposed to be, black or Sudanese, whatever. Like those are the people I'm talking about. They don't care about none of this stuff. This happened 15 years ago. All they thinking of is like, hey, whatever. So I'm saying that for us, right? If we can somehow, if he gets an attorney that can somehow get the father into this appeal case, right? As a character witness for his son, the one that didn't die, the one that was also involved with the fight, right? Because they never caught him up. Then this will be good for us as ammo, good for Karmelo as ammo, because if they can get the father on the stand as a character witness, at that point it don't matter. They can ask him anything, right? The reason to make him a character witness is because you are a character witness of your son, the one that survived and the one that died that was involved in this altercation. Once they get him on the stand, they can pull up all this shit. They can pull up the racist rant. They can play the video in court. They can pull up all of this stuff. So that's when it would matter to us. But if he doesn't get in court with this, at the end of the day, he's going to do his thing. But I think that's what matters the most. All of this information coming out about this guy, him beating his wife. Man, imagine if they could get his wife to come up there as a character. If I was a defense attorney, that's what I would do. I would call both of the attorneys up there as character witnesses for their sons.
I agree. They need an attorney with some teeth.
Yeah, the biggest thing with all of this is really because they're going to get the appeal. They got at least half a dozen different reasons why they're going to be able to get it, right? I knew they were going to get it when the jury was all white, and then the second, I know that whatever, they were no black people, right? But I knew for sure they were going to get it when I found out not only was the jury all white, but the damn DA and the judge know each other, and the goddamn defense attorney worked with the DA for like 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if they can get the mom and the dad up there, and the reason why they got to get the mom up there is because the mother she won't be able to lie. They can ask her under oath what happened with you and their father. Did they witness you? Did they have to whoop their dad's ass to get him out the house? What did he ever say racist shit before this whole murder happened? When did you first? You know, they can make it. They can paint it like his kids were living in a house where they were being bullied, abused, and around a racist man who's a sexual predator and all this other stuff. That is when it could actually work for them. So that's what they got to do. They've got to get a good ass lawyer.
Okay, let me play this clip real quick. Here we go.
Felon. How's that one strike you?
I would give anything
for Mello, okay? Because he was such this little boy y'all were trying to portray. How about watermelon felon?
Watermelon felon. How about this fella? Just in case he finds his channel. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the felon now. Who's the felon now? Who is the felon now? Let me play the Stephanie. Let's watch Stephanie Smith, Stephen Fetchit A. Smith do his thing. Oh wait, oops, my bad. Let's watch them. Let's watch everybody's
to be able to say something definitively in Karmelo Anthony's defense. If there was a shred of innocence to the incident itself, I would say so. I don't want to see a little black young man going to jail.
But Massa, I'm going to add in some extra.
But I don't give a damn what your race. I don't give a damn about what your race, your ethnicity is. Just because you're white and young doesn't mean you deserve to be murdered. And just because you're black and young with challenges that black folks face every single day doesn't give you a license to murder someone.
He didn't have to do this. He's going to get his too.
DJ, we talked about how Stephen A. Smith, okay, he's got a campaign going on right now. Now, he's not running for president. He's running for head of the Cone Illuminati. All right? You got to go hard when you're doing that. You got to go hard.
That reminds me so I might as well do, shameless plug for a live stream that I got coming up. Let me put up the name of it right now. Hold on.
And we just saw yesterday, Stephen A. was capping so hard. He's from New York. He's a New York Knicks fan, right? The Knicks just won the finals. They just had the biggest ratings viewing that they had in almost 30 years. And he's still going to sit up here and say that the MMA fight at the White House for Donald Trump was this big, beautiful event, bigger than the finals. And this is like 2 or 3 weeks removed from Trump saying that he was the dumbest person in the world. He couldn't even run for garbage pickup man in your city, let alone run for president. Stephen A. is a super coon with this.
Yeah, he wants something. I don't know what he's trying to get or where he's trying to go, but yeah, he wants something that's connected, because Trump is connected to a lot of powerful people, probably including ESPN or whoever it is he worked for, whatever network. I think if that's part of, all of these companies are merging together and they're all having to, really kind of pay Trump a fee like the Godfather and shit, allegedly, to merge together or to do any type of business or whatever. It's like he's filling his pockets up on the back end, allegedly.
Yeah, that's why I'm coming out. Wait, that's why I'm coming out with the pro-black hustle.
Mm-hmm.
The last stream called the pro-black hustle. If you notice, Step and Fetch at H. Smith, they always act like that they're down for black people and everything. But he's from the Illuminati. And so, yeah, I think we need to have a live stream on there. Look, I got Deontay's best friend, Dr. Umar in there. Jay-Z and Target. And then I got Kanye right here with the White Lives Matter t-shirt on and everything. Yeah, we can have some fun on that one. We about to have some fun. Hazel, it's good seeing you. Happy Friday. Dang, I forgot it was Friday. Shoot. Dang, but yeah. So yeah, we got the pro-black hustle. Let me tell you, Deontay, you can get all of that energy out on this one. I take requests. You could tell me your favorite Illuminatis, and we will put them in the mix that night.
The Cone Illuminatis. That's who it is.
That's right.
Secret Society of Super Cones. That's
right.
what.
I mean,
all the coons in chief.
Yeah, I just got 3 of them up right here, but we know there's plenty of them.
Right. But poor Deontay, he done had to box me and you tonight, DJ Torch.
There's nothing wrong with being heated. There's nothing wrong with being heated. This is very frustrating. This is very upsetting if you care about your community. I can So I definitely understand.
It's just the way, because DJ, I tell you, man, I went to high school with these people. I went to the same school LeBron went to, actually. I went to St. V's in Akron. And before that, I was all in public school. I went to St. V's for high school. I worked with these people, even still now in different fields and everything. I know how these people are, from the broke ass ones all the way up to the, I mean, I don't know no billionaires, but I know some people, super paid millionaire type people, but they live in a different, the perception from a white person standpoint, right? Especially an elite one, is something like, it's out of this world. They don't care. When they're comparing us to them, they don't give a shit. LBJ said it the best. Lyndon B. Johnson. He said, if I can make the lowest white man, if I can make the lowest white man feel like he's better than the highest black man, I win and we win. He said this. That's how they feel. Look at Donald Trump. He's proof of that. This is a man who's been rich his whole life, a billionaire. And he was able to get the poorest white people in the country to be the base of to be the foundation of his MAGA base. I've never seen that before, So yeah, that's how they feel. So they're not tripping about this man being a sexist, sexual predator, rapist, or racist. As long as they can be like, hell, shit. As long as we can use you as a conduit to be racist through, because a black person killed your son. These are the type of people we're dealing with. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just gonna wait for it to marinate a little bit, see how it goes. But I understand your point of view. But I'm just telling you that he doesn't feel too good about this coming out.
No, I agree with that. I mean, I don't think he likes it at all. But I still go back to what I said. I believe if we could, I keep saying we, because I do feel like it's all of us in this situation, not like his family, but just that's why it means something to us, right? But if Karmelo's family could get a lawyer to call his parents in, to call the Metcaf parents in as character witnesses for their sons, which they could easily do. They can subpoena, like, yeah, y'all character witnesses, y'all gotta come. Subpoenaing y'all. Boom. They can tear them up on the stand. Hell, they could have did it for this trial. That's even more evidence that the lawyer that they had, the defense attorney, was some bullshit.
Well, I think the major key is to get a better jury. That's the main thing. Not really a better jury, because the jury worked great for the prosecution. So you can't say they were a bad jury. But let's just say a more fair jury.
Yeah,
because
they really should put it. I really wish they would put it in Dallas, because he would definitely get a fair jury there. But Dallas is Frisco is the county. I mean, and Dallas is the county, and Frisco is the city. And sometimes, if the case, I'm surprised Dallas didn't pick this up, because
We got a
lot of times when the case is big enough, Dallas will take over on the investigation. But that's where he would get a fair jury.
You're right about that. I didn't know. So Dallas is, so Frisco's the county, and Dallas is in Frisco County.
No.
Oh,
No. Yeah. Frisco is in Dallas County, because Dallas is really the big metropolitan city, and they have 138 suburban cities, and Frisco is one
who's
of
in
them.
Harris County? Where's Harris County?
Harris County is in Houston.
Okay, so it's Dallas. Okay.
Yeah.
But Frisco and Dallas are in the same county, though, right?
Yeah. Frisco pay taxes to Dallas.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, they can move this. They really should have moved the first one, but they can definitely have it moved because of that. Yeah,
or they can move it to another city that's close to Frisco, because they do have their boundaries, and they kind of got it all blocked up on who's going to take care of what. And Frisco could be Fort Worth County too. So I would have to actually look that up, because it's kind of like in the center of both of them, right? But at the end of the day, they can still move the venue, and it doesn't have to be in Frisco, because they got so many other little surrounding cities that they could put the trial in.
Right. So the main thing that we know, even if it was done in the same county, you're
Mhm.
getting a different judge now.
Yeah, you definitely getting a different judge. But they need
Because
to take it out of Frisco because it happened at a Frisco school. It happened to the Frisco community, and in my opinion, another city just won't be that. In they'll be invested of the facts more than look what you did to our community.
yeah. Anyway, let me play this clip one more time, then we'll call it a night. Here we go.
Got a new name for Mello, okay? Because he was such this little boy y'all were trying to portray. How about watermelon felon? How's that one strike you?
A watermelon felon. Watermelon felon? Looks like the felon here is you, Jeffrey Charles Metcalf, who in 2011 was charged with SA. Yep, that's right. I even fact checked these records. So it looks like the felon we really need to hide our kids from, hide our daughters from, hide our women from is Jeffrey here. And if you want to be able to pull receipts like this, check out my online class, get the receipts where I teach you how to do background checks.
There we go. Any last words for tonight?
Well, look like Watermelon Felon said what he had to say. 2.0,
Yeah.
Watermelon Felon 2.0. Well, really 1.0 because he went before Carmelo probably was even walking.
Or like Wisdom Ain't Cheap said, potato salad felon.
Yeah, potato salad raisin felon, she said, or something like that.
Nah, white people put raisins in their potato salad for some reason. I don't know what's up
that
with
part. That part. But I think he's I think he's gonna have people looking at him. They're gonna be side eyeing, and they're gonna be like I said, a lot of people will disappear and disassociate themselves with him because of what he's done. He's a real estate agent, and with that type of record, if people know you have that type of record, I don't think they want you showing them too many houses, and I want to just leave that at there.
Right. This is very, 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 very bad for business.
Very bad for business. Let's just put it in that perspective. And I just hope Carmelo get an appeal and just get a fair trial. And like you guys said, it's not like he's totally innocent. I don't feel like he provoked the fight. I felt like he was really defending himself rather than trying to take somebody out. And I'm gonna tell you what Texas is gonna do. Even if they do downgrade it to manslaughter, they'll say, okay, you'll get 20 years instead of 35. So don't look for Melo to be home no time soon, unfortunately.
True.
Yeah, well, you know what? I said what I said. What you just said was exactly what I've been trying to get at the whole time. At the end of the day, they don't care. They're going to railroad this kid. So even if somehow they were able to prove that this was a manslaughter, and which it shouldn't be somehow, it's easily should be proved that this was manslaughter. Like I said, at worst, right? At best, he was defending himself, so he should get off. But they still going to give him the maximum, Like
this is let me interject real quick. This is what I saw though. I saw them in basically if they tried to make it sound like Metcalf's son shoved Carmelo once and that was it. But even I made out from the very blurry picture, it was more than once. They were going back and forth. I saw 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So it wasn't just a single shove. That's what it seemed like the prosecution was trying to sell. And I mean, he just didn't have the greatest lawyers. That's what I see.
Well, and usually in these cases, the defense attorney will advise the defendant not to testify, right? Especially if they think he was guilty or if the evidence is so surmountable, they like, dude, they gonna, or you got a bad history, they'll tear you up. They'll just paint you look bad even if you was innocent, whatever. This is a different case though. Carmelo didn't have anything, because trust me, I ain't even gotta say that, trust me. Fox News, Megyn Kelly, all of these white people who were racist as hell, they would have found anything and they would have put it out there on Carmelo. They didn't have nothing to put out on him. The only thing they could say is that he killed Austin.
Right.
They couldn't say anything. So he would have been the perfect witness for himself, for a defense for murder. Just like most people would be if they were actually, self-defense, it was a self-defense plea, So he could have really put him on the stand. Because no matter how the prosecution grilled him, what were they going to get him to admit? Admit what? He didn't plan on doing that. He gonna tell the story exactly like it happened. They can't pull nothing from his past and paint him as being, see, remember when you did this? Did what? When I saved the little white boy? You know what I'm saying? Like, what? So that just lets me know there even more. The confluence is crazy. The lawyer had to be in on this because he's not incompetent. He's obviously a successful lawyer, right? The lawyer was in on this. So if they could get a better lawyer, I think that they will get an appeal. And like you said, I said what I said. If they can get a better jury, all they really need is just one person on the jury who don't believe that Carmelo did this. He intended to murder. That's all it takes. Because if they can't get all of them to agree that he did do it, it'll be a hung jury and it's thrown out. Or so, you know what I'm saying? So that's all they really need is just one.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is DJ Torch. I'd like to thank my guests once again. I said what I said. Please definitely give I said what I said a hand of applause. She found all this good tea for this good tea we've been sipping on all night. And Deontay for his very heartfelt and very well put statements about this situation. I think this is gonna be very, I'm telling you, it's gonna be interesting. We're just getting started. So it's gonna be almost like there was never a case. I want to see what happens to old Jeffrey. That's what I want to see. Because I want to see. I went to school with dudes like this dude. He's trash. Dude is trash. And he can't even argue that, because how can you argue if you were a felon yourself just 12 years ago? He's trash. I'm better than Jeffrey. I can say that. I'm better than you, Jeffrey. I don't have nothing like that ever, Jeffrey. You scum, bro. You scum.
We got a damn freak.
You scum, Jeffrey. You scum, bro. Look at that. Look at that, Jeff. Jeff, take a look. Take a close look. Is that you? Let me take this down here. Is that you, Jeff? Released from prison 2011? That's not clean. I thought you was clean, Jeff. Jeff, you listen to Jeff? I thought you was clean, bro. You saying you was high and mighty and cussing out cussing out black people and everything. Look at you. You were the scum of the earth. Released from prison for SUO assault. What's up with that, Jeff? What's up with that? In Collin County, huh? I don't have a record, Jeff. You got one. I mean, it ain't for speeding or it ain't even for, stealing. You actually did something to a young lady and ruined her life. I hope she sued the living shit out of you. She might want to think about it. I don't know if it can happen in that state because there might have been a statute of limitations. But Jeff, I know you wanted to go to the finest restaurants. I'm talking some hell. You wanted to go to finest restaurants. Yeah, you can still go. They'll just, people will just look at you funny. You're not as cool as you thought you were. Anyway, okay, I'm done. Let me go ahead and hit the beat. Here we go.
Hey, Torch. And friends. It's about to go down, baby.
All right, everybody. Shout out to Deontay. I said what I said. Wisdom ain't cheap. Hazelbud in the place to be. Henry Mars. Devin the lifestyle guy. Mr. DJ Music. Black Pride.
And friends, it's about to go down. It's about to go down. Yeah. Laughter and truth, a gentle sound. Hearts open wide when the love goes round. Yeah. DJ Talk.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Friends, it's about to go down.
I'm wishing you the best this weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, the producer of this song, Ghost. Everyone, have a nice evening. Ghost is great seeing you.